Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Sisters and brothers, citizens of the world, welcome back to Live from the Heartland for the week of February 6th in the year 2025. And our guests now are no strangers to the show. We've had them on a few times. They're all from the All Chicago Tenants Alliance, and I first learned about them because they were having a rent strike and a demonstration, and I had been involved in rent strikes back in the late 1960s. So I'm really glad to welcome Miles Hogerty, Danny Rosa, and Maya Odendahl, if I got it close to right. So you guys have been in the news a little bit. I see your emails. You're engaged in a brutal fight, apparently, with some very wealthy landlord who is not respecting tenants' rights and their human rights. So fill us in.
Yeah, I can talk about it briefly. This has been a fight we've been in since the summer of 2025. The union is called Fuerzas Activas de la Damon. They occupy 4 buildings in Rogers Park. They were given $500, $600, $700 rent increases when an investor named Imran Khan bought their building in this last year, and these were effectively evictions for them because they can't afford the increases, and they've been fighting to stay in their apartments since more or less July, I want to say, and they started a very, very big rent strike in November, and they just began their 4th month of rent strike.
Have you had any? What are the regulations from the city about rent strikes or withholding rent? And have you had any support or contact with the alderwoman up here, Maria Haddon?
Yeah, Maria Haddon has been in touch. The landlord is currently in building court. Maria Haddon has had a hand in that. As far as rent strikes and the legal apparatus around them, there's not much. The law doesn't say much about them. It basically refers, everything that has to do with the rent strike is kind of treated at the level of the contract. And so when it comes to rent striking, it's just a matter of tenants, landlords, and their contracts.
Now, I understand that you guys have been sued by this guy Khan. What's the status of that? Is there any leverage with that, or is it just a move?
Yeah, so Imran Khan is suing us and a few of the tenants. We're currently being sued twice by Imran Khan in a kind of strange turn of events. He's suing us for both tortious interference and for defamation. And we're not too worried about these. We think that these are kind of frivolous lawsuits. They're designed to keep us from doing like public organizing, and designed to keep the tenants from basically like associating with each other. And we also think that the lawsuit is designed to sort of shut down and intimidate future tenant organizing. So it's particularly direct and harsh because we think it's part of a larger strategy to keep tenant organizing down in the city. Although we think, especially with the defamation, it seems like a particularly thin lawsuit. So we're still kind of in early stages. We're not sure how it's going to go, but we still feel pretty good about it.
Have you got lawyers?
Yes, we do. Good friends at Beyond Legal Aid.
Good. What about I know you guys had activity going on in other neighborhoods. Is that still happening? And I know from early on, you had hoped to do more work on the West Side, more in an African-American community rather than Latino. Fill us in on your work in general, how it's going and where you're active.
It's right now it's mostly concentrated on the West Side and the North Side. And we're historically working on the West Side, in Austin, And we have kind of a reemergence of work appearing in Garfield, East Garfield, West Garfield. But a lot of our energy is up north now. We're trying to establish a base of organizing in Rogers Park specifically, but also throughout neighborhoods like Uptown, Albany Park somewhat, and then also a little bit more what would probably be called the Northwest side. So Maya especially has been trying to get some work going in neighborhoods like Hermosa,
Belmont Cragen.
And how many active organizers do you have on the ground? I know you have a lot of support in the organization. I was at when I first met y'all, there was a great rally with 50, 60, up to 100 people. How many people you got on the ground?
I think probably somewhere around 30 active organizers right now. Like Danny said, spread between the west and the north side.
Yeah, it's about accurate. 30 that are I would consider highly active, and maybe 10 of those which are extremely active.
How can people support you?
Well, the best way that people can support us, and especially Fuerzas Activas, is donating to the Rent Strike Fund. We have a Rent Strike Fund that's available on our website, chicagotenants.com, and our Instagram, the All Chicago Tenant Alliance. This is a fund that directly supports tenants on strike with legal fees or assistance in moving if it comes to that. So this is the biggest support that people can give us.
I would also say we're planning a press conference in Rogers Park on the 15th, and we should have information and details about that up this week on our Instagram. Would be the best place to learn about that. So come to the press conference on the 15th of February.
Where's it going to be?
It's at the church on Morse. It's about Morse and Ashland and Rogers Park.
Yeah, United Church of Rogers Park.
Yes.
I used to be on the board of that earlier in my earlier days. And the pastor there actually married me and my wife, Paige.
Okay, wow.
A different pastor now. He's long gone.
Okay.
Let me ask you both, all three of you, a little bit about tenant organizing nationally. I mean, we have a lot of issues right now. We certainly have ICE in the neighborhood. I'm not going to go into details. People know how terrible things are. And I'm just wondering, as people get squeezed around the country financially and politically in many ways, what's your sense of this as a national movement and its potential to be that?
I can talk a little bit about that. There's sort of two national organizations. There's the Autonomous Tenant Union Network, which was sort of spearheaded by LATU and has been going since COVID days and maybe even a little bit before then. And that's as it sounds, autonomous kind of like grassroots group of organizations. There's also the Tenant Union Federation, which kind of represents the other strand of organizing tenants in the U.S. This one is a little bit more geared towards like getting funding, expanding quickly, winning like legislative things in some areas. So these are both two kind of like angles of it, and both of them are having pretty good successes. LATU has great success, and the Tenant Union Federation, especially in Kansas City, has seen great successes. We in ACTA consider ourselves closer to the autonomous tenant union network kind of idea about where funding should go and about the relationship of tenant unions to kind of the labor organizing philosophies that have proliferated over the century. But I think we're excited to see a lot of growth in the movement. And as always, we think there's room for far, far, far more growth, especially in Chicago. So, yeah, I'm excited to see more tenant unions popping up.
Let me ask you, is rent control something would be an issue or a campaign, something that we would want people to get behind and push city council toward? Is there any hope for that? Is it happening anywhere else? It used to have it in New York. I don't know if it still does.
Yeah, it exists in certain places, LA, New York. Illinois and Chicago are particularly difficult cases because we have a state law that bars rent control. So in order to get rent control in Chicago, first we would have to overturn that state law barring it, and then get a positive implementation of it in Chicago. So it's kind of this long, protracted two-step process. I know that there's coalitions that are sort of working towards that, but ACTA tends to focus on the ground level as opposed to legislative.
Okay, this is great talking to you. One more time, what is your website that people can go to?
It's chicagotenants.com.
chicagotenants.com. And you are going to have a press conference on the 15th of February at the church, at United Church of Rogers Park on the corner of Morse and Ashland. Do you know what time that press conference is going to be?
Should be either 2 or 3 o'clock, but look out for details on our Instagram this week.
I appreciate you sending me information, and I imagine I'll be there.
Great. We
as
hope
a
to
member
see you
of the press.
Yeah.
I'll ask you some difficult questions.
Yeah, we're ready.
Right on. Well, I'm really glad that we've gotten to know each other a little bit. You are doing good work, and it's it's a lot of work that goes often under the radar. Being an organizer is not something that's easy, but it's really an important thing to have happen. So keep up the great work. All power to the people, all power to the renters who are rising up, and we will see you soon. Everybody else.